Dominic. I also like to say good morning to Mr. Chance, Teresa Conliff, my cousin Jennifer, Pearl, Miss Cummins, Starsky, Ms. Ever Fireman. We have lost a great one and a patriot.
Indeed.
It will be felt throughout Trinidad and Tobago, right? Because what he have done for our economy, we will miss him sadly. So again, to his family, we keep you all in prayer that you all will be strengthened in this time of grief, right? But Dominic, take care.
You too. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, yes. Mr. Condolences again. It's something we can't get over. His qualifications when it's a long trip.
Yes.
3 degrees, if I can calculate.
Yes.
And then he's worked long in the industry, you know. He contributed, and there's only one for our people. These are contributions like Mr. Philip Alexander. What's the name of the party? Is PP or PIP? I will take them on and off. People's Illiterate Party?
It should be that.
Yeah, because they have nothing to contribute. They don't have a heart. They look like they have no feelings for people that make out of stone. That's how they just act like this is a party out of stone and the illiterate. So you would not have to go to the great beyond one of these days. They have no feelings. I don't take them on. And I want to tell you, I don't think they went even past 1,000 votes, you know.
Yeah.
Even when he put up himself, I didn't think he got more than 200 votes. Them smell defeat from the word go. There wasn't it. There was they went in the toilet for the whole night, but they knew they got diarrhea. They knew that they lost. They want to feel sick, and you see them same 400 people who write them and tell you something about politics and Trinidad and Tobago. It's so ugly. This is our following, and when election day comes, them people are going and even put themselves to vote for them. That's what they know.
Yes.
Just like a lady who went up with Tobago, so she was as an independent, and I predicted that I said they would tell us it was an independent. When you go, they're not going out to vote for you. She may only get about 50 votes. All they could say that he was angry and bitter with the PNM, and it proves nothing. You know?
Yes.
And that is how ugly the politics in Trinidad and Tobago is when you got fooled. And Mr. Philip Alexander will get fooled. Why you still want to be calling this dead lady's name? She's gone. It was a tragedy, and what? Why you still want to use her name? Why don't carry the march from Marima to so Sandy Grand? Why you want to be in front of her house? In front of the family's face? Why you want to do that? And let me tell you something. I just tell people, you see, anytime them smelling jail, them just join the politics. And it's either they form their own party or they join the UNC. So anytime they know somebody investigating them, they know they want to put themselves out there. So when they get locked up, they will say political victimization.
Right.
I've seen it under the UNC. They have done it many times. The leader did it. When he came into power, his case got dismissed and so on. And I've seen it so many times in the UNC. When they know they're still in jail, they just come and join the UNC. Ask me why Anna Roberts is still in the Senate. That is to keep you quiet. And even if the whole year they start to talk, nobody's going to take you on because they go say, Indian is how he's talking. What's the reason why Jolene don't have a case before the court in the Senate? And these are some kind of politics that these are people shouldn't condone. What's the reason why them in the Senate? And as we're talking about, and Mrs. Kamala Prasad says that release just to put her name there. I don't believe genuinely she felt hurt or she felt saddened. It's just that everybody put out a press release, that is the UNC, let me put out one. Dedication, these are the kind of ministers, the kind of qualifications, you always call them Mr. Patrick Manning, name Philip Alexander. The kind of qualification Mr. Patrick Manning had. He and Dr. Rowley in the 60s and the 70s. If they had gone to work in the private sector, they would have been millionaires. But they don't know that. They choose politics to serve the people. And I heard Dr. Rowley say at that time, when he watched shows when on his team of children coming out from our school, he said, who will be there for them? Who will fight for them? And that was in the 80s when the PNM was in opposition. And Dr. Khan, Mr. Khan now passed on. I remember when he took the platform, he said he couldn't give the whole story about what took place with this dance case because he said it's very emotional. He said it's not an easy story to tell. So the man was very heartbroken when that took place. And for the family who encouraged him back into politics, thank you. Because it's not an easy thing to be encouraged in back your family to tell them, Mr. Go on again. So we want to thank the family for that strength and give them that strength to come back. That's not an easy thing to go through. It is not. And to be tainted people's names. So I rename the party People Illiterate Party. And I will always say the UNC and Philip Alexander, the vote will be counted between the illiterate and the literate. So that is something we must always check on. Have a good day. And I'm going to tell you something. We will make them a subject again. Because I find we should be focused and talk about something else. Because them not important. Them doing pass 1,000 votes. Thank you, Mr. Dominic.
Thank you very much, caller. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Let's see what we have here. Right, so we continue to take your calls at 342-0081. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. But how long are we today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I just want to say my condolences to the family of Franklin, and I get it was a good one. You know, I think I'm better for the energy sector. You know, and like I said, Mr. Dominic, very disappointing. You see people praising Franklin Khan, as you see when you criticize him, and it reminds me of the situation of the late great Patrick Morgan Augustus Manning. He passed away 5 years ago when they had nothing good to say about Mr. Manning. Remember that?
Correct.
Yeah, so there's nothing new. And Mr. Felix Alexander, is he still a member of the UNC? He's still a member of the UNC and he's still a
I know he said he was going to join. I don't know if he went through with it.
Well, I am waiting to see what they say, but if any of those UNC will condemn his statement, and if not, I mean they condone the statement. With respect to Mr. Watson, all I have to say is this: the people of Tobago, all they can very carefully when the election is called, because I'm noticing that it seems like everybody has this trend now that they have admiration for Abajon. I don't understand that at all, Mr. Dominic. You're hearing all the allegations against this gentleman and seeing how the union, in my opinion, seem to be campaigning for him in Tobago. Apparently, they are basically endorsing him to be the head of the THA.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically that is what we're saying right now. So basically, they're campaigning for the man, which means that they're looking at this allegation or they're looking at the children away from these allegations. So I understand where they're standing now because I was so time with these guys. And we're still calling for salary increase. No one fully ever going around the world with this COVID recession. Or is it asking for more money? Dominic, boy, I don't know. I just want to wish Dr. Rowley or the speedy recovery. I don't want to get back on this country, but Dominic, how about
yes, sir.
Please try to get in contact with Dr. Lovell Francis and perhaps the instant gypsy teacher or somebody from the executive of the Moira table, because it's getting really annoying to see people protesting down there, and we have to find out why, because I'm getting the impression that Dr. Lovell Francis ain't doing nothing for the last 5 years. So, if possible, please try to get in contact with Lovell Francis or Mr. Peters. I think Mr. Peters is still the caretaker of that area. Unless you have somebody else new for 2025. Okay, sir?
All right.
Yes, please. It's a must. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Let's see what we could do. Hello, good afternoon.
Dominic, I want to come back in on the topic that you read out on.
Yes.
Right. I want to come back to that. You read what that lady wrote, and you know that they show you that the opposition, how deceitful and wicked they are. You know, you reading that now and I hearing that. And knowing that just 2 weeks ago, not the same people, you went that far with the Dan Suko, whatever is his name. What about 2 weeks ago in the parliament? You forgot they brought a motion of no confidence? Don't forget that.
Indeed.
That is recent. So to say what you read, what I hear in there, the character of the man, it didn't seem so, because 2 weeks ago, he and all had to get up in parliament to say, so far, all you come accuse me of nothing, you know. All you reading everything, all you reading it off of some paper clipping and holding clipping. He said, what I'm accused of? Right there 2 weeks ago, don't forget, they had a confidence of no confidence in any man. They're too deceitful with themselves. Such a bunch of hypocrites. It annoys me when you're hearing these people talking. So she must take shame because maybe it is one of theirs. You remember when PNM did send up that fella from down in Central Africa? Huh?
Avinash Singh.
Yeah, she take shame as yes, it's one of theirs. First Dr. Rowley, you would have heard otherwise. Thank you, go on.
Thank you, Zina. Andrew, morning. Afternoon.
Yeah,
sorry.
good afternoon, my brother. I listened very attentively, but you see, I say it straightforward. We, the PNM, lose a good member, a genuine member. We lose there. And my heart goes out to his family. May God continue to keep them and bless them. And nothing, when you are a liar, don't say lie to me once. You could come and talk how much you want to talk. Good. You see, if you're following the Bible tells us, not the talkers is justifying the doers. So it is easy for Kamala Prasad and the UNC to get a piece of paper and write nice words, put it on there, but they don't mean nothing. What they write there, nothing. What you saying about Franklin? All that is just waste. Just a sound good in the ears of people. And if they really had this country to run, and everybody is just like them, they must have, if it's the right thinking people, if you hold in this country standing, you know. Because yes, they don't do anything and make anything, work at anything you don't work for. So I'm a tradesman. I learned to, and when you fit in something, you have to cut it to shape. If you don't cut it, the fit it will never fit. And that's the UNC. Fit into politics, real politics. Gains, lies, deceit. Attack Satan altar. Satan is a deceiver. He deceives you. He make you feel that this is, and I show you a piece of brass, you know, and he's showing you, and you will run in that, and he'll catch you. Deceivers. And then they could do what they want. They, all of them put together, cannot touch Franklin, cannot put a foot in his shoe. He was an outstanding member at the Trinidad and Tobago. And the world too, because it's just, and outside people talk about Franklin Khan. And she want to come and play. You see what happened to she? She want to make people feel that she's saying something. But what she's saying there, you could take that and throw it in the dump. And let it back on them, trample over it, level it off. Because there is nothing. Kamala Prasad and the UNC. There is a waste of time, waste of human standing in the face of people, a progress. This country to go forward, not backward. Have a blessed day, my brother.
Thank you, Andrew. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hear me at all? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Barely hearing you.
All right, just hear me now?
Yes.
No. I said good afternoon. I want to take the time to send out condolences to Mr. Franklin Khan's family.
Yes.
I had the opportunity of meeting him twice. He is indeed a very humble man. I would miss his voice most of all in the parliament. Most of all, that bright smile also. Right? However, Mr. Dominic, if I might add, I've been listening in from way back. My radio doesn't move at all. I just want to say this. This is in no way to pick on callers or anything like that. But there's a passing. Politics is a game to me. Because at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that every one of them know each other. They are both colleagues, be that opposition or government. Why are we wasting time on the UNC side of what the UNC says or what the UNC thinks about him? If it was on the flip side, it would have been the very same thing because PNM would have been paying tributes to him. People call in and pay tributes to Mr. Khan. Don't pay tributes to what Ms. Kamla say or who say about him. It's what we know about him. That is what would make the difference. The time we take to waste time behind them, we should really be pouring in strength towards his family and his loved ones. Right? That's just my contribution. Right? We need to stop wasting the time behind that. It's making sense. All right? Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Dominic. Dominic.
Hi.
Yeah. It's good for what he said there, yes. But then at the same time, if somebody telling you something that is wrong, you have to correct them and teach them something. Because the things that he said about a dead man, I would presume, I wonder if he said that about his parents and who to come, and this is what he wishing to himself. So this is what I have to say. So you have to still say, talk to them and let them know what they're talking is nonsense, not to continue. Okay? Can't
Thank
leave
you.
them to go along like that. Okay? Right. Bye.
Bye. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Damo,
Mr. Archer.
where you do, boy? Everything all
I
right?
good.
They left you alone today, boy. Mr. Request. But, Damo,
Yes, sir.
let me tell you something with some people I will get in this country. First, I must say condolences to the Khan family. Mr. Khan was a wonderful fellow, Mrs. Khan. Your husband did well in this country, and we are proud of him. I do hope that everything that you hope for yourself, Mrs. Khan, everything comes true. You will have a wonderful time. You just be calm and keep your head on your shoulders. We are with you. The whole PNM family are with you. But, Dominic,
Yes, sir.
it has some crazy people. I don't know if they're born from a human being or animal. The conversation that some of them come in with. And when you listen to whether your name Zanda Elig or what your name, please, Mr. Man, be careful because what goes around comes around. You will not be alive all the days of your life. You have to go away. And what same thing you're saying about Mr. Khan and others, people will say worse than that to you. I don't know if you feel as a white man. I don't know if you feel as a white man. and you're trying to be something, but brother, you still remain nothing. And Tobago, I'm talking on behalf of Tobago for Mr. Khan's wife. Mr. Khan's wife, you just be calm and let them know the naysayers and the evildoers who are sending all kind of bad things about Mr. Khan. That's what goes around, comes around. We're sending it back to them. Everything they say, we just send it back to them. Condolences to you, Mrs. Khan, and your family. May God bless you and keep you safe.
Thank you, Mr. Archer. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dominic.
Hi, good afternoon.
I want to tell Mr. Alexander something. When Sculpture Rose had sang Fire, Fire, there was a gentleman, in them days I living as a young girl in 11th year. Fire was taking place in the next street, and there was a gentleman singing Fire, Fire, and singing the whole song. When he go over the next street, was his house was burning down. All he saved was the clothes on his back. So be careful what he asking for. You don't rejoice over sickness or death. I want to tell him that this morning. But you wish somebody, next thing it will fall back on you. So be very careful. It is not a nice thing what you're doing. So I want to tell him, please stop his nonsense. You don't rejoice over sickness, you don't rejoice over them. Because no one knows what behind the clouds until it come out. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Dominic.
Hi, good afternoon.
It's me again. Dominic, I want to stop condolences again there to those families down there in Point Commander down there, the loss of those young ones who was in an accident this morning, Dominic. We lost 2 and I think 2 still fighting for the life. You know, just want to tell them to be strong, Dominic. You know, when they know these children, and Dominic, it's not an easy road, you know, Dominic, honestly. And they say when your neighbor house on fire, wet yours, right, Dominic?
That's right.
I just want to send out, you know, condolences to those parents down there. Let be strong, be strong, be strong. Dominic, you have a good one.
You too. Thank you. Right, and in respect of that, so I'm just seeing that on Facebook. Apparently, there was some vehicular accident down on the Point Kumana side, and so see the Prime Minister would have put out a post trying hard to cope with the many challenges as they come. Just heard of an accident in my constituency where persons were burnt to death in a motor vehicle. May we all be given the strength to carry each burden that we are called upon to bear, and my thoughts go out to the affected families and communities in this time of great sadness. Please stay safe, so says the Prime Minister. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Dominic.
Mr. Porterspain.
And good afternoon to the listeners 919, home and abroad. Dominic, I would like to send my deepest condolences on behalf of their father, Silo Christian, to the relatives, family and friends, political party, PNM, and the Partisan of the late Franklin Khan. Dominic?
Yes, sir.
We have missed a very good minister. He was also a good MP. And as far as I know, the issue with Dansum Dansuk. Is Dansum Dansuk alive, Dominic?
Based on my research this morning, yes, he is.
Yes. Well, I think that is over about 9 years now, or even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 culprits, one in the parliament, one is outside, according to Mr. Dansum Dansuk and the DPP, there was a conspiracy to lie and put Franklin Khan in the situation where he was in. Thank the good Lord that the court decided otherwise with the DPP taking over the case. So remember that, Dominic?
Yes.
Somebody who is still in Parliament has not been charged so far. But Dominic, I listen to the hypocrisy of the opposition leader. And if my memory serves me right, I think that name, something like her, came up in the issue of Dan from that too, when he said that this is what he was told to do. And Dominic, some people, like they don't do the research, as far as I know, and you could correct me if you like, did Miss the sector opposition leader, Mr. make any personal speedy recovery, get well to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley? Dominic?
No, she didn't.
Well, Dominic, you see, this is what goes on in Trinidad and Tobago now. There are people saying that she made the gesture of speedy recovery and get well to the Prime Minister. As far as I know, you are correct. And this is the hypocrisy that we're hearing this morning. And I know the records have shown that when the 10 appeals fell on her foot some years ago, I don't want people to forget it, you know, Dr. Rowley sent speedy recovery and get well soon. Also, the opposition leader had not condemned the nastiness that has been going on social media. She has not one day come out and condemned that. And Rudy, in that thing, I wanted to hear me here, because you was a man saying that you stand up for rights. And you know, when the former Prime Minister, then opposition leader, left your birthday party, the condition she left it in. As a comeback to the situation with the family there, with the PNM, Dr. Rowley apologized when somebody appeared in a sari and a bottle of liquid. Dr. Rowley went on record saying he apologized for that and condemned it. Not one word by this opposition leader to condemn the nastiness that's going on, but have King Lion and them all over the place bring back Camilla. Dominic, I want people to remember this. It has special vision eyes for this opposition leader. She was able to notify and recognize Franklin Khan and others from a picture that she was reading from in the news. But you know, this very said Kamala Bissessa, opposition leader, couldn't recognize a senior cabinet member of parliament. She didn't know who he was. But you know, Dominica go there now. They have a public servant hiding outside. They can't come back home with Marchand. But an individual who could not be recognized with people in room 2 and everything is back in parliament. Are we to accept that? Dominic?
Nope.
Dominic? Well, I want King Lion and them to challenge me now. The last thing I challenge in King Lion, you bring Naked and let him tell me what part of Stafford Court he was training the youth. Or you change our story like saying that. Or they like what they're getting. Man who had 7-figure contract. Today, they're complaining and they ain't getting none. They didn't care about the PNM activists and supporters. They said they was renting some place in Mova for children. One they called the Delman had more contracts than ever King Liar. You know about that? And let me tell you straight, King Liar. No PS to be appointed by a Prime Minister, King Liar. When you want to learn facts to come on radio, I have a little school that I could give you some teaching how to come on radio. You hear what I'm telling you? So stay off on the radio now. We tired of you and penal. Right? Dominic, thank you very much for allowing me this contribution. This is how people were brought up under the PNM. Thank you very much for allowing me this contribution. I was brought up in a house of training
Not rowdy. That is animalistic. That is unrealistic. King Liar, thank you very much, Dominic.
Thank you, sir.
For allowing me this contribution. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, very pleasant good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, but what's not? I will fight up with watch. Christ said, I ain't showing no purse to no swine. 10 years ago, the man who called him King Liar, the last caller, he said something about, 10 years ago, I ran out at him lyrically, boy. I stopped show purse to swine. You understand?
Yes.
But I want to know, Dominic, what it is we do, boy, as a nation, boy, to deserve Watson Duke from Tobago, and Philip Alexander and Kamala and these individuals, boy, what it is we do, boy, because over 50 years ago, a man who was considered once the second brightest or the first brightest man in the world, and don't ask me how I come to that is what they say. Right? Dr. Eric Williams, who went to Oxford University, the most prestigious university in the world at the time, he said our future is in our bags. Gently, calmly, he said our future is in our book bags. What he really meant to say is that, hey, get knowledge, boy. Everybody ain't go to know doctor and liar. But at least you learn to be civilized in your behavior. You learn to seek out proper information. You learn to do things properly now, boy. At the end of the day, that's what education is about, holistic. What does we do to deserve these kind of people who they will never debate you because they can't debate you. Anytime you research anything these people say, you just realize they're lying. And the new narrative for the average UNC supporter is that the Prime Minister lying. They're lying. Because they realize the people who they love, they lie all the time. Right? The other day, when it was announced that the Prime Minister got COVID, the first thing you're going to ask me, early in the morning, boy, the Prime Minister got COVID, boy, what do you think? I say, I mean, what I think? He go lie for that? Say, no, I just asked him. That is kind of stupidity, boy. We just have to deal with it on a daily basis, brother. Because some people, regardless of what happened, brother, they could say the sun falling. They're going to support politicians in this country. Because like that is the tradition of it. Because, what's happening then? Why are we not passing cyber laws, boy, to deal with people like this? Because I feel all of this going to end up in violence. I ain't playing no goat mouth on nobody, but being really realistic. You can't just be feeling your, what is called it, human rights. It's a right to abuse mine. And saying things that you know is not true. And everybody lapping it up and everybody having a good time. I not out to have no good time in that kind of way in the dread, man. Don't tarnish my name. That is all I have. You can have 10 house, 50 million in the bank. You have to leave that behind when you're going to the next journey. Ask Mr. Franklin Khan, who I want to say condolences family. And what happened is he said straight will recall Mr. Franklin Khan as gentle, as approachable. How you want a human being to be now, boy? Full of class. But anytime Trinidad reach that state of anarchy, that plenty people balling. Up to this one, a man called me and tell me some place in Trinidad full of the COVID, like they're just praying for evil things to happen to this country. So God forbid, anytime we reach that state of anarchy, history won't have any problem whatsoever to find out who were the main patriots this, how we reach to this state thing. Because they're playing games by staying out of the parliament to do the people business. They're playing nothing out there that they know not happening. Right? Because if they hate me as a politician too, coming back to what you're saying, you hate me, as a human being, whatever reason they hate me for. Prove me wrong now, brother. Let me reach to that state now. You understand? Let people know that I'm playing games now, boy, in no uncertain way. You understand? But we're not inviting that type of conversation. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Right. We're not inviting that type or level of conversation. And you will be surprised that people who say they're educated and we full of money, they're not inviting. Here, man. We're going to get what we deserve, and I ain't frightened. I defend Rastafari. I don't afraid to say that. And why I say that is because whatever I say I am, I don't get into it without knowing where it come from and where it's heading. That is what I mean to say. I sure what I dealing with. I don't believe. I know. You understand? So Philip Alexander, you really want a society where people thinking like you, without rationality, without being considerate, without being sensitive. You want a society like that. And all the fellas just be proud, boy. And all the fellas just have following dread. Anytime we reach to that state of anarchy, if you're not wrong, I hope your family could record it. Give thanks to people like you and all you. And you see what's in you? You know, I can understand, Dominic. About 5-10 years ago, Tobago people realized that Watson Duke was paying them for idiocracy now, boy, because not Watson Duke, but the UNC, with the use of certain Tobagonians, had a plan to, you understand, deal with them, not like how Dr. Rowley dealing with them. And Tobagonians, and I'm not forgetting Jack Warner was in that. Sorry to say that. And thanks to Mr. Jack Warner, because if there's one thing you ever do good in Trinidad and Tobago, is give us somebody called Dominic. Right? So that's the only thing you ever do. Thanks for that. But going back to Tobago, when Tobagonians realized what I was doing, 12-0 they get. How come these same Tobagonians could give a man like Watson Duke 6 seats? Or they ain't thinking of what? Or they ain't thinking of what? Or they realize the man has strings around him or what? You only realize the man has been reading from a script all the time or what? Eh? And then doing serious things like the Prime Minister, 3 boats come in. One is our cargo, 2 passenger boat. Hospital left, right and center, police station, road, all kind of thing. All they hate him, boy. All they're going to give all they one trust. And, you know, I just want to close by saying, long time in call, so let's forgive me for talking a little long. Right? You remember in the same Sammy Joe, they take Sammy Joe and put Sammy Joe on a next station and take the person from that station and put them on a next station. And up to now, that same person on the same station. And I think nobody and watch that. Nobody like didn't realize the kind of kicks in those penalty. And boy, that is real. When they're reading against the PNM, that is read with such emotion, boy. Any producer in Hollywood will hire them. Because like them and all this fall for the hate. What is happening for the PNM when there is the government. But I go close off there for now. But thanks very much. And I won't say God is a Trini, but once we do the right thing, because God is only rewarded when they do the right thing, you know. Because God is only help those who help themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kola. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Dominic, Mr. Porter Spain, speak for me just now. Mr. Porter Spain, you know, stupid, you know. He's not no stupid, and he speaks for the rest of Trinidad and Tobago. He don't take sides. Understand? No, you know, tell him Desperados, 34, 36, the little green van, Desperados. And he will know. Mr. Porter Spain always speak for Trinidad. I'll go on.
Thank you, sir. Right, so we still have a couple minutes left, so I can still take maybe another 1 or 2 calls before we have to leave this afternoon. So if you want to call to extend your condolences to the family of Franklin Khan, you can do so. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Dominic.
Good afternoon.
I want to send my condolences to the Khan family. I pray that God will give them strength and peace and courage to go through this time of death and grief. And the opposition leader, the problem I have with the people who are saying things is that Kamala before Prasad have never ever told her supporters to stop saying and doing the things they are doing. She encourages. So I do not know how people can support somebody who do those things. So, again, I just want to send my condolences to the Khan family. I had just had a death in our family. My daughter died 46 days now. So I understand the pain of death. Okay. Have a blessed day, Dominic.
Thank you. You too, caller, and condolences on behalf of all of us here from the street 919 FM. So I see the countdown has started, so that's all the time that we have for calls for today. So thank you to all those of you who would have called to send your condolences to the family of Mr. Khan. I'm sure that it was appreciated, as well as by extension his PNM family. And as we proceed this week leading up to his funeral, I'm sure that persons will continue to use the opportunity to extend condolences to Mr. Khan's family and the PNM. And of course to all the naysayers out there and all those who have absolutely not one iota of compassion. Well, just remember, based on what you think, what the criteria is to get into heaven. And I can tell you the type of behavior that you've been displaying over the last couple of weeks certainly doesn't fit the criteria. So we're out of time, but not out of things to say. Remember, I will be back on Tuesday. Miss Felix will be back in the morning with Bruce Wayne. So join us again at 5:30 for Titans of Democracy. So do enjoy the rest of your afternoon, the rest of your Sunday, and we'll chat on Tuesday. I'm out.
And we would like to invite you to listen to the final hour broadcast every
If your hands are anointed, and if your feet are anointed, and if you're under the blood of God, give me a Holy Ghost shout. If your hands are anointed, and if your feet are anointed, and if you're under the blood, say, I am anointed. One time. Hey! We come to turn the enemy now. Take it. And if your hands are anointed,